Barefoot, with a toothy grin, Cassia was a sight to behold. Gangly and lanky, she hardly seemed accustomed to her newfound height. No, this overgrown child clung to her tomboy ways as deeply as she clung to the wooden ship of her father's creation. Dangled from the ropes like an eager chimp, the breeze tousled her locks into a matted mess. Loch, Straheigel, she yelped like a pup to her father, who scrambled to twist the oars in response. Waves of salt crashed over the sturdy oak and filled their shallow boat with a pool of the fjord. As her laughter grew, Cassia was quick to gurgle a mouthful of the sea. Disgusted, her heaved tongue was sent into a fit as she tried to spit it all out. Now it was her father's turn to laugh at his daughter. Bells were soft at first, but grew alongside shouts. They were at last home and greeted by the village's children. Young boys with braided heads jumped and waved as they raced the boat alongside the shoreline. Cassia beamed. Now was a perfect chance to show off. Slowly she turned to her father and eyed his oars with a pleadful look. A challenge had been issued. The two stared in a battle of wills, her puppy eyes fixed against his strong fatherly gaze. With a sigh, he was easily defeated. Brach, intella non mun manma. Her jump for glee nearly sent her straight over the side. Practiced arms, however, were quick to swoop her up. Steadied within her father's protection, she laughed once more as she took his place at the end of the ship. Timid hands grasped the splintering wood before her audience. With held breath, Cassia dipped the oar into the crystal-clear waves. In a bid for concentration, she bit down on her peeked-out tongue, eyes fixed heavily on the nearing dock. Beside her, her father's hand began to hover nervously, ready to take over if she had sent them all crashing forward. Cassia swatted his hands away playfully, though. It seemed she was natural. Smoothly she guided them to the side of the dock. As the wooden ship brushed against the pier and moaned, the girl ran to throw the rope upon the walkway for anchoring. Like a tightrope walker, she moved with similar grace along the rails, eager to show off the sailor knot she had been taught. Markel leaned back with beaming pride as he watched on in silence. Before her father could say another word, the girl was consumed. Waving goodbye frantically towards him, it seemed she was already off in a sprint towards the glade with the other children. He watched on with envy. Oh, to have all that energy again. As the children plotted and planned the day away, one boy in particular pushed forward to be close by Cassia's side. Slyly he linked arms and began to slow down. As the children passed and the chatter faded, Atticus stopped with her behind a nearby tree. With a shove, he offered up a droopy flower to the girl, who began to laugh. "What's this for?" she asked in her foreign tongue. The boy turned red. I was told girls are supposed to like these sort of things." Her laughter grew even louder. "What for? Does it taste good?" "No." "Well, then who would tell you such a silly thing?" Flustered, the boy's answer was muttered under his breath. "Come again?" Atticus threw the flower onto the ground. "My mother!" With a Cheshire cat grin, Cassia desperately tried not to laugh again. The boy noticed and smiled, more determined than ever. Unsheathing his weapon with a playful roar, he was quick to accost her with a wooden sword in hand. A battle ensued between the two betrothed children, as she dodged and danced like the hidden people, spry on her feet. Back and forth they slashed at one another, before more of the children joined in. Overwhelmed, Cassia charged into the forest lines with laughter as the warlike calls of a miniature army chased after her. The village was but a distant memory now, for they were finally in the thick of nature. Would they hunt for the hidden people today? Cassie had sworn that she had spotted a holdar in the glades, which had whipped all the town boys into a frenzy to set their gaze upon it. Atticus, the boy she most eagerly wanted to impress, remained skeptical, however. With a snarky grin, he assured the other children that Cassia was simply telling tall tales again. Fresh dew of the recent dawn doused the forest damp. The trickling waterfall that was once distant was now a booming thunder that roared with their nearing steps. Stillness swept over the herd of miscreants. Were they still asleep? 2 women were half submerged beneath the raging falls. Blinking as if to cast this farce from view, Cassia's eyes traveled the length of their bodies before she inhaled a quick, excitable shock. Turning to Atticus, she pointed for his gaze to follow. Flickering back and forth, impish tails adorned the creatures' backs. The girl slowly bent close to the other children. She let out an excitable word as she practically tackled them with jumping joy. Holdars! Exchanged faces of shock from the whole of the party. Once more, Cassia's stories had proven to be right. With whispered giggles, the boys eagerly gawked at what splendors the creature might do next. A rustling of the above trees was all it took to break Cassia's wonder, however. While Atticus and the village boys stared on in delight, Cassia's head turned with the ferocity of a mother lion protecting her flock of cubs. With studious eyes, she peered into the still forest, hand twitching towards her blade.